House Judiciary Committee met last week to mark up Trump's border bill. Jim Jordan is the chairman, and he and the Republicans on the committee voted down every amendment to Trump's border bill that was proposed by the Democrats. Republicans voted down an amendment ensuring that no citizens get deported by ICE. This is a serious problem. It's estimated 1% of all the people deported, going back even to the Biden administration, 1% are U.S. citizens. Republicans voted down a measure not to ship immigrants to Gitmo because they're not enemy combatants. And Gitmo is like Alcatraz. It's too expensive. It costs $20,000 per migrant to fly them on a military plane to Gitmo. Then another $20,000 per migrant to fly them wherever. That's $40,000. How about, here's $40,000, welcome to America. Go to Kansas now, or Springfield, Ohio, or any of the thousands of other small and mid-sized communities here in the United States that have become ghost towns, desperate for workers and people to live there and pay taxes. Why do you think these Christian nationalists are saying we need more people? That's Mike Johnson. When you read what the Republic, we have to encourage people to have more children. What do they call the natalists? Something like that. The natalist movement, J.D. Vance. We need more children. They recognize the population implosion. If we don't grow our population is going to start shrinking, and then the Ponzi scheme, that is our economy, collapses. So they know we're running out of people. But they don't want dark people, no dark-skinned people. What else did they vote down? The Republicans voted down forbidding ICE from raiding elementary schools and rounding up undocumented children. This is a problem. They recently tried that in Los Angeles, which is a sanctuary city, and ICE was thrown out of the building. This is ICE rounding up, trying to round up fourth graders. This country would be safer if we rounded up ICE agents and placed them in detention centers. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with you taking a job at ICE? Nobody's forcing you to work for ICE. People write to me, well, I have a brother-in-law who works for ICE. He's really nice. Yeah, to you. Yeah, he comes home. He got it all out of his system at work. It's nice to you. The banality of evil. Hannah Arendt talked about it. Republicans voted down earmarking 0.5% of the border spending on ICE oversight. No, they don't want any money spent making sure ICE is obeying the law because they can be trusted. Republicans voted against banning ICE arrests inside churches. The Christians, Republicans, voted against banning ICE arrests inside churches. That's what they're doing. They're going into churches, rounding up fathers, wearing ankle bracelets waiting for their immigration hearing, and shipping them off to detention centers in front of their crying children because there's money to be made in filling these detention camps. Nobody's illegal here. There are fathers wearing ankle bracelets, which means they're documented, they're in this country legally, they're going through the process, but Trump needs to put numbers on the board. He's not deporting as many as Biden. And so ICE goes for the low-hanging fruit because they're cowards. They're cowards. Still haven't found one. And believe me, I've been searching. And I don't want anybody to get hurt. Do not want anybody to get hurt. I've asked my listeners, can you find one example of MS-13 or Tren de Aragua putting up a fight when they're rounded up by ICE agents? Can't find it. Every day I look. I've gone back 5 years, cannot find a single example of ICE agents having to get into a gunfight or a physical altercation with anybody they round up. But Donald Trump invokes the Alien Enemies Act because we're at war with the worst of the worst, he says. And he says, we're only rounding up the criminals, like a father with an ankle bracelet praying in church surrounded by his wife and kids. The worst of the worst, a 4-year-old kid who's an American citizen suffering from stage 4 cancer, a pregnant mother. The worst of the worst. How could you work for ICE? How could you do this? Republicans voted down a ban on ICE hiring January 6ers who were pardoned by Donald Trump. Good on the Democrats for proposing that. They know their history. Fascists only stay in power when their military, when their police are violent criminals. So Democrats know. First you pardon the January 6ers, then you invite Enrique Tarrio to Mar-a-Lago, and next thing you know, he's working for ICE. The GOP voted down an amendment ordering ICE agents to identify themselves before making an arrest and not wearing face covering. This is a serious problem right now. We have ICE agents coming out of nowhere in plain clothes, not even saying they're with ICE, and just grabbing people off the street. And witnesses try to videotape these abductions, but because the ICE agents are wearing masks, nobody has any idea who the agent is. Or, more importantly, if they're even ICE agents. There's an epidemic now of Americans pretending to be ICE agents and terrorizing immigrants. Now, ICE agents don't have to identify themselves, and they can keep their faces covered. Same Republicans who have spent the past 4 years screaming about the deep, dark state. But they have no problem with ICE behaving this way. How do you know it's an ICE agent? How do you know it's an ICE agent? Because they're arresting a 4-year-old kid suffering from stage 4 cancer. That's how you know it's an ICE agent. It's a coward. That's how you know it's an ICE agent. Republicans voted against funding lawyers for unaccompanied children. Voted down that amendment to fund lawyers for unaccompanied children. Trump and Musk gutted this program this year, and Republicans don't want it to come back for next year. Unaccompanied minors, no legal protection, no legal representation. Think about that for a second. Think about what kind of person would want an unaccompanied minor to come into this country without their mother and father, and no lawyer to tell the child what their rights are. And Trump wants to charge $3,500 if you want to take the unaccompanied minor and give the unaccompanied minor a place to live. It's going to cost. We should be paying people to take unaccompanied minors. Trump wants to charge people for being generous, for being Christian, for being Christians. It's a tax on Christianity. Republicans voted down indefinite detention of families, keeping them in these concentration camps, so CoreCivic and Geo Group can boost their quarterly profits. This is surprising. Republicans voted down an amendment banning ICE agents from hanging around battered women's shelters to arrest undocumented battered women. That's what we got going on right now. ICE agents hanging around battered women's shelters so they can arrest undocumented battered women. Well, I figure I was visiting my wife and daughter, and I'd get a little work done at the same time. That's what the ICE agent figures. I'll go to the battered women's shelter, visit my wife, visit my daughters, and I'll get some work done. Round up some undocumented battered women.